16-year-old cruisers in the gate. Trey Thiessen, Aiden Shizano, Rylan Burke. Gate drops. 16-year-old cruisers. Burke, Shizano, Thiessen. Shizano, Burke side by side, little pump race action. Thiessen in that 3 spot. 5-year-old novice is loading into the gate. Bryson Smith. I'm sorry, Hank Lunsky, Frank Noah Kraus, Kason Curlett, Jet Statstead, Thea Kopp. Six riders out there, 5 and under novice, all racing super hard. Looks like Curlett's out to the early lead. We got a battle on for that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot as they make their way around. Statstead making moves through the rhythm section. 3 of these riders moving on to the main event. Great to see so many 5 and under novice riders out there. 6-year-old novices loading into the gate. Fletcher Kopp, Keelan Osley, Collins Lorenz, Bo Curlett. Battles on for the 2. Looks like the 752 Curlett's going to come across, grab that 1 spot. 2 more riders advancing straight to our main event. Coming back to the line, looks like the 863 bike. That's Jet Statstead, followed by the 779. That's Thea Kopp. Those 3 riders move on right to our main event. 6-year-old novice is about to hit the track. Kopp, Osley, Lorenz, Curlett. Good job to all of our 5 and under novice riders. Six-year-old novice is on the track. Looks like Curlett's out to that early lead. Lorenz is in that 2 spot. One of these riders moving on to our main event. 7-year-old novice is getting loaded into the gate. Farmer, Anderson, Haley, Gray. Great to see so many new riders joining us this year. Curlett's going to come across, grab that 1 and only transfer this round out of your 6-year-old novice group. 7-year-old novice is about to hit the track. Farmer, Anderson, Haley, Gray. Gate drops. Liam, one of our new riders in this group. Farmer, Anderson, Haley, and Gray, 7-year-old novices on the track. One of these riders moving on to our main event. 9-year-old novices in the gate. Gray, Haig, Osley. Looks like Gray is out to that early lead in that 1 transfer. You got Farmer in the 2, Anderson in the 3, Haley's in that 4 spot. Really good racing as they make their way through the rhythm section. Coming back to the line, looks like the 183 bike. That's Dylan Gray. He's going to get your one and only transfer this round. Farmer on the 2, Anderson on the 3, Haley's on that 4 spot. Eight-year-old novice is on the track. Carson Gray, Levi Haig, Keitel and Osley. 1, 2, 3 is how they run on the track. Race at total points. 7-year-old intermediates in the gate. Bryson LeBlanc, Liam Bina, Paxton Schmidt, Remington Braun. Looks like Gray followed by Haig and Osley. 1, 2, 3 is how your 9-year-old novice group's going to finish up. 7-year-old intermediates on the track. LeBlanc, Bina, Schmidt, Braun. Looks like Braun's out to the early lead. Bina's in that 2 spot. Schmidt and LeBlanc, 1, 2, 3, 4. 9-year-old intermediates loading into the gate. Walker Corinta, Odin Redmond, Mila Beaudry. Battle on side by side between Braun and Bina, both making their way through that rhythm section. See how they come out of turn 3 and into turn 4, that mid-coat turn. Looks like Bina is going to take over the 1 spot. Let's see the race down that last straightaway. One of these riders moving on to the main event. Looks like Bina's going to get your first transfer. Braun's going to grab your 2, Schmidt your 3, LeBlanc your 4 spot. Corinta out to that early lead. Battles on for that 2 between Redmond and Beaudry. Race and total points in your 9-year-old intermediate group. Odin Redmond's going to make it side by side as they make their way through that rhythm section. 10-year-old intermediates loading into the gate. Hunter Barulis, Camden Wagle, Caden Osley, Gannon Braun. Coming back to the line, battles on for that 2 spot. We lost 2 riders there. We'll get them checked on, make sure they're all right. Ten-year-old intermediates coming back. Wagle's going to grab your 1 transfer. Maroulis and Braun are back up. Osley's going to grab that 2 spot this round. Osley, Braun. Maroulis all be back for round number 2. Glad to see they're back up. Going to finish their lap off. Braun going to get some style points coming over that tabletop. Make some noise for our riders that went down, got back up. Never fun. 17, 20-year-old intermediates in the gate. Chase Moreland, Anthony Blake, Ryland Burke. Blake out to the Burke out to the early lead. Blake's in the 2. Moreland's in that 3 spot. 9-year-old experts in the gate. Graham Burke, Hudson Schmidt, Corbin Lorenz. Come back to the line, looks like Burke followed by Blake. Moreland 1, 2, 3. That's your 17, 20-year-old intermediates. 9-year-old experts on the track. Graham Burke, Hudson Schmidt, Corbin Lorenz. Looks like Burke's out to that early lead. Lorenz is in the 2. Schmidt's in that 3 spot. 13-year-old experts in the gate. Trey Thiessen, Lily Vanu, Ryder Alba, Case and Fincher, Savannah McCuskey. Come back to line. Burke's going to grab your 1. Lorenz your 2. Schmidt your 3 spot. Gate drops. 13-year-old experts on the track. Alba, Fincher, McCuskey, Thiessen, Vanyo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is how they run out of turn number 1. Alba out to that early lead. 2 of these riders moving on. Fincher's in that 2nd and final transfer spot this round. 15-year-old experts in the gate. Shazano, Conley. Two trans are going to be Alba, Fincher out of your 13-year-old expert group. (21, 25-year-old experts, moto number 18, last moto of the first round, Schmidt, LeBlanc, Lentz. Burke, Conley, 1, 2. LeBlanc out to the early lead. Schmidt in the 2. Lentz is in that 3 spot. A race in total points. 21, 25-year-old experts. Coming back to the line, LeBlanc followed by Schmidt. Lentz 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish up as they cross that Shields finish line. That'll do it for round number 1 of racing. We're going to take a quick break, do some paperwork, be back for round number 2. Again, if you haven't swung over Walker Corinta, Corbin Lorenz, Graham Burke. Burke out to the early lead. Lorenz in the 2. Corinta's in that 3 spot. 10-year-old Cruisers in the gate. Gannon Braun, Tate Hoff, Camden Wagle. Come back to line. Burke on your 1 spot. Lorenz on your 2. Corinta on your 3 spot. Hoff followed by Braun. Wagle 1, 2, 3 as they make their way through that rhythm section. '16-year-old Cruisers in the gate. Thiessen, Shizano, Burke. Hoff is going to grab your 1. Wagle your 2. Braun your 3. Good to see Gannon back up after that crash. Round number 1. Come back to line. Shizano, Burke, Thiessen, 1, 2, 3. 3 riders on your 5-year-old novice group on the track. All 3 riders are going to move on to the main event through a boat ride. I believe that's Kraus out front. Hank Lunsky in the 2. Frankie's in that 3 spot. All 3 riders moving on to our main event. Good to see so many new riders, 5 and under novice, joining us. Six-year-old novices loading into the gate. Fletcher Kopp, Keelan Osley, Collins Lorenz, 2 of these riders moving on to our main event. Make some noise. Our 5 and under novice riders coming back to the line. Looks like Kraus is going to grab your 1 transfer. Here comes Frankie. He's going to get your 2nd transfer. First night on the big track for Frankie. It's great to see. Here comes Hank Lunsky. He's going to get that 3rd transfer. All 3 of these riders moving on to our main event tonight. 6-year-old novices on the track. 3 riders, 2 spots in that main event. Looks like Lorenz is out to that early lead. She's got 1 of those spots. Kopp and Osley out there as well. We'll see how this shakes out as they make their way back to that Shields finish line. 7-year-old novices on the track, in the gate, 3 riders, 2 spots in a main event. Come back to the line. Looks like Collins Lorenz going to grab your 1 transfer, followed by the 907 bike. We'll get your 2nd transfer. That's Osley. Fletcher just going to miss out tonight on that main event. Good race in that 6-year-old novice group. Farmer out to the early lead. Jude Anderson in the 2. Liam Haley's in that 3 spot. 3 riders battling for 2 transfers. Make their way through that rhythm section. 9-year-old novices in the gate. Gray, Haig, Osley. Racing total points. Coming back to the line, looks like Farmer's going to get your 1 transfer. Close race, but Jude Anderson's going to grab your 2nd transfer. Liam's just going to miss out tonight. First night joining us, doing a great job. Nine-year-old novice is on the track. Gray, Haig, Osley. Looks like Gray's out to the early lead. Haig's in the 2. Osley's in that 3 spot. 7-year-old intermediates in the gate. Bryson LeBlanc, Paxton Schmidt, Remington Braun. 2 of these riders are going to move on to our main event. Come back to the line. Looks like Gray and Haig are going to get your 2 transfers. I'm sorry, they're racing total points. Gray's going to pick up your 1, Haig your 2. Osley's going to grab your 3. Braun out to the early lead. Schmidt's in the 2. Bryson's in that 3 spot. 2 of these 3 riders moving on to our main event. Nine-year-old intermediates in the gate. Corinta, Redmond, Beaudry. Come back to the line. Looks like Braun, Schmidt, 1 and 2 are going to pick up your 2 transfers out of your 7-year-old intermediate group. 9-year-old intermediates on the track, racing total points. Corinta, Redmond, Beaudry. Looks like Corinta's out to that early lead. Battles on for that 2 between Redmond and Beaudry, racing through that rhythm section. 10-year-old intermediates in the gate. Hunter Maroulis, Caden Osley, Gannon Braun. Come back to line. Looks like Corinta's going to grab your 1. Battles on for that 2. Redmond's going to grab your 2. Mila's going to grab your 3. Ten-year-old intermediates on the track. 2 of these riders moving on to the main event. Maroulis, Osley, Brown. Looks like Brown's out to that early lead. Maroulis is in that 2 spot. Osley's in that 3. Brand new rider joining us. Unfortunately got put in with that 10-year-old intermediate group. Never like to see that. 17, 20-year-old intermediates in the gate. Chase Moreland, Anthony Blake, Rylan Burke. Braun, Maroulis, going to get your 2 transfers out of your 10-year-old intermediate group. Make some noise for Caden, one of our new riders joining us tonight. He's going to finish off his lap. Good job to him. Burke out to the early lead. Blake in the 2. Moreland's in that 3 spot. 9-year-old experts in the gate. Burke, Schmidt, Lorenz. Come back to line. Burke, Blake, Moreland, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish up in that 17, 20-year-old intermediate group. 9-year-old experts on the track. Burke, Lorenz, Schmidt. Looks like Burke's out to the early lead. Lorenz in the 2. Schmidt's in that 3 spot. 13-year-old experts loading into the gate. Thiessen, Vanya, McCuskey. Burke showing some style, airing it out over the table. Looks like Lorenz is in that 2, Schmidt's in that 3 spot. They're going to cross the Shields finish line out of the midcoat turn. Kuski out to the early lead. Thiessen's in that 2, Vanya's in that 3 spot. 2 of these riders moving on to our main event out of your 13-year-old experts. 15-year-old experts in the gate. Shazano, Conley, Wolf took a little crash in practice. Come back to line. Looks like McCuskey, Thiessen, 1, 2. We're going to pick up your transfers out of your 13-year-old expert group. 15-year-old experts on the track. Shazano, Conley. Wolf sitting this one out. Shazano out to the early lead. Conley's in that 2. 21, 25-year-old experts. In the gate, Nick Schmidt, Nicholas LeBlanc, Heather Lentz. Come back to line. Shazano, Conley, 1, 2. Lentz, Schmidt side by side, racing total points. LeBlanc speeding it up as it makes their way through that second straightaway. He's going to catch these riders. Come back to the line. Looks like LeBlanc is going to grab the 1. Schmidt, your 2. Heather Lentz, your 3 spot. And that'll do it for round number 2 of racing. Track will be open at this time for experts only. Again, experts only in the track at this point. Cruiser mains in the gate. 9-year-old cruisers racing total points. Walker Crinta, Corbin Lorenz, Graham Burke. Tonight is trophy night, random trophy night. You might get one from this year, you might get one from last year. Never know what you're going to get. Those are all over in registration. Top 3 trophies tonight. Ten-year-old cruisers in the gate. Gannon Brown, Tate Hoff, Camden Wagle. Burke coming back. Lorenz on the 2. Crint is on that 3 spot. Hoff out to the early lead in your 10-year-old cruiser class. We got Waggle and Braun trying to do a pump race. A little bit of wind's going to mess that up. All right, they're off and pedaling now, it looks like. 16-year-old cruisers in the gate. Trey Thiessen, Aiden Shizano, Ryland Burke. Hoff's going to come across that Shields finish line, grab your 1. He'll take home with a 1 tonight. Come back, looks like Waggle's going to grab your 2, Braun your 3. They'll cross the Shields finish line. Everybody's favorite race of the night is in the gate. 5 and under novice riders. Hank Lunsky, Frankie Carview, Noah Kraus, Kason Curlett, Jet Statstead, Thea Kopp. Gate drops. Burke, Shizano, Thiessen, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll cross. Couple riders almost getting together there. All those 5-year-old novice riders making their way through turn 1. Looks like we might have had one that lost some pedals there. Oh, looks like we may have lost a chain there. We'll get one of our volunteers over to Noah there. We'll get them taken care of. Five and under novice making their way through the Midco turn back to the finish line. Looks like Curlett's going to grab your 1 tonight. Looks like one rider lost a chain. Ed's going to get them all taken care of over there. Coming back, looks like the 779 is going to grab your 2. That's Thea Kopp. She's going to get her 2nd spot there. And 755, that's Frankie Carvey. He's going to grab your 3 spot tonight in that 5 and under novice group. Here comes Hank Lunsky. He's going to grab your 4 spot. Always has a big smile on his face. Doing it at 3 years old. Comes the 863 bike. That's Jet Statstead. He's going to come across the finish line. Noah's going to get a little help. He's going to finish his lap off. He lost a chain just right before turn 1. 6-year-old novices load into the gate. Keelan Osley, Collins Lorenz, Bo Curlette. Six-year-old novice is on the track racing into turn number 1. Let's make some noise for Noah as he makes his way to the finish line. Had a little mechanical issue there. He's back up, going to finish off his lap. Good job, Noah. Looks like Curlette's out to that early lead. Lorenz taking over that 2 spot. Osley's in that 3 spot, looking for a way around. They make their way through that rhythm section. 7-year-old novices in the gate. Blake Farmer, Jude Anderson, Dylan Gray. Coming back to the line, looks like Curlette's going to grab that 1. How they cross is how they're going to finish. Collins Lorenz going to grab your 2. Keelan Osley's going to grab your 3 spot. Looks like Gray is out to that early lead. Farmer's in the 2. Jude Anderson in that 3 spot. That's your 7-year-old novice group on the track. 9-year-old novices in the gate. Carson Gray, Levi Haig, Keitel and Osley. Coming back to the line, looks like Curlette's gonna, or Gray's gonna grab your 1, followed by Farmer on your 2. Looks like we dropped 1 Farmer out, or 1 rider off in turn 1. Back up, gonna finish the lap. Anderson's gonna grab your 3 out of your 7-year-old novice group. 9-year-old novice is on the track. Looks like Gray went down in turn 1. He's gonna get back up, see if he can't catch up. Keitel and Osley's in that 2. Levi Haig's in that 1 spot. Come back to the line, how they cross. Racing total points. Levi's going to get the 1 this time. Gray's going to grab the 2. Osley's going to grab the 3. So we'll see how those points finish out. Let's make some noise for Carson Gray. He went down in turn 1, got back up. Osley's going to grab that 3 spot. Braun, followed by Bina, Schmidt, 1, 2, 3 as they make their way to the rhythm section. 9-year-old intermediates in the gate. Walker Krenta, Odin Redmond, Mila Beaudry. Side by side out of turn 4. Braun and Bina, they're going to race hard back towards that finish line. So who's going to get it? Looks like Braun's going to grab it. Bina's going to grab your 2. Schmidt's going to grab your 3 spot. Paxton racing a couple years up. Those 6 and 7 intermediates. Krent out to the early lead. Redmond at the 2. Mila Beaudry's in that 3 spot. 10-year-old intermediates in the gate. Hunter Marulis, Camden Wago, Gannon Brown. Come back to the line, looks like Carenta, followed by Redmond and Beaudry. 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish in your 9-year-old intermediate group. See how those points shake out. Looks like Braun, followed by Marulis. Waggle, 1, 2, 3 is how they run through the rhythm section. 17, 20-year-old intermediates in the gate. Moreland, Blake, Burke. Battles on, coming down that last straightaway. We'll see who has the gas to get back to that Shields finish line. Looks like Braun, followed by Marulis. Waggle, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish up. Burke out to the early lead. Blake, Moreland, 1, 2, 3. 9-year-old experts in the great. Graham, Burke, Hudson, Schmidt, Corbin, Lorenz. Come back to the line. Burke, Blake, Moreland, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish up. Burke out to the early lead. Lorenz in the 2 spot. Schmidt's in that 3 spot. 13-year-old experts in the gate. Thiessen, Alba, Fincher, McCuskey. Come back to the line. Burke, Lorenz, Schmidt, 1, 2, 3. Alba out to the early lead. Fincher's in the 2, McCuskey in the 3. Thiessen in that 4 spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how they make their way into turn number 2. 21, 25, 15-year-old experts in the gate. Audrey Wolf, Aiden Shazano, Casey Conley. Come back to the line. Alba, Shazano, McCuskey, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish that 13-year-old expert group. 15-year-old experts on the track. Wolf, Shazano, Conley. Shazano out to the early lead. Conley in that 2 spot. Shazano, Conley, 1, 2. Coming back to the line, LeBlanc, Schmidt, Lentz, 1, 2, 3 as they make their way out of the mid-coat turn. Blanc's going to grab your 1. Crosses Shields finish line. Schmidt, your 2. Heather Lentz, your 3. All right, that'll do it. Tuesday night racing. Thursday night this week's is number 2 for the Deeks Cup, so you're not going to want to miss that. Russ Hounds will be out there taking all those pictures. That'll be free of charge, available to you. Track's now open for riders that want to get some extra laps. We appreciate everybody coming out, joining us. If anybody needs a last-second drink as they head for home, concessions will be open for a few more minutes. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hugo's Raceway, the home of Red River BMX.